Okay, Gemini, welcome in. This is for you. This is a tarot/astrology reading for the end of 2023. I will still be doing the regular tarot readings for December. That's going to happen after Thanksgiving week. So I just wanted to do a little bit of forecasting to the end of the year with the energies that are going on, so you can kind of see what's what. You definitely have a strong month ahead. The full moon coming in on the 27th of November. In this video, I'm going to lay down a reading and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of big things that are happening by the end of November. And then in the extended, I will look at the December astrology so you can see what is coming in. I mean, you have a full moon in Gemini happening, and it's a very strong Gemini full moon in that first house. So let's see what wants to come through in the reading here. Magic. Wow. This jealousy card just won't quit. I got that for Libra too. Jealousy and stormy. Holy poker. So, I feel like some of you are either on the receiving end of some jealousy, somebody kind of putting together some kind of magic against you or something, or you're kind of casting magic at someone else. If you are doing that, that's going to bring in some stormy seas. So be careful about that. I feel like there is maybe a love triangle or something going on, or just jealousy in general, a feeling of not really, it's like all projection. Jealousy is projection. Jealousy is that person or that thing over there. I don't have what I want, so it's that person's fault or something like that. So pay attention to that, because I feel like what happens with that is it kind of boomerangs around and shows you your own shadow, or shows you what you need to do in order to work through this energy. So that stormy seas there, we'll see where we go. We've got the King of Swords, the High Priestess, the Ace of Cups. This is what's going on underneath the surface, or what you don't see. The Knight of Cups. There's a Five of Cups, and then there's this Aquarius healing energy, which I like very much. Very Aquarian here. Aquarius and Cancerian. So there's something here about a secret love offered, or secret love happening energetically, which is maybe manifesting itself either between you and another person, an Aquarian or a Cancerian, and the other person is very jealous of that. There's definitely a sense of like the third party energy of loss. So I feel like this is going to be healed. I feel like there's going to be a new beginning, but that jealousy needs to be handled. That's what's keeping everything apart, or that's what's keeping everything from going in the direction that you want it to go in. Now, it may have nothing to do with you. If this is a triangle, it could be a third party having jealousy about your person or something like that, right? Like you're just in the triangle. Bermuda Triangle. Okay, King of Wands. If you don't know what the Bermuda Triangle is, look it up. All right, King of Wands, Seven of Wands, and the Two of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Emperor. The Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. I feel like there is a message of third party coming out here. Some kind of message. So there's a person, let's see, Aries, Leo, Sag, could be someone who is looking in another direction for love, someone who is not looking toward their partner for love. I feel that's the Three of Swords right here in the middle too. Both the King and the Queen here are looking to the past, or they're looking in this direction. Could be four people. Could be two couples. So not a triangle necessarily, a square, which is interesting. There's definitely a new offer that's trying to come in, but there's loss. So for example, if this is a triangle, one of the partners who's single could be resisting love coming into their life because of this triangle, because of their person who's married to somebody else or something like that. So there's definitely a sense of like lost opportunity. All right. So the King of Wands showing up here in this position is, and it's looking backward, it's looking to the past, trying to resist a future love relationship that wants to come in. And it's almost like another couple is breaking up. But Gemini, you might be, I'm not seeing. I mean, this could be you secretly wanting a love relationship to come together. And so there's a sense of healing here, but I feel like there has to be a sense of loss first. Like the old relationship that had that third party dynamic to it has to be ended, has to be closed before like the new thing can happen or something like that. It needs to be closed to be healed. The container needs to be closed. All parties need to close the door on this. And I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. I feel like the King of Wands is very resistant. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles, this might be the person who is the partner who is being cheated on or something like that. 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords, and is like super controlling about this. Like, I don't want to close this off. I don't want to shut this down in order to be healed. I want to heal it from within the situation, and so the other people. So it's kind of like a stuck situation. 8 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. There's another message that's coming through that might change the game here. All right, so this jealousy and this stormy card. There's some kind of external force, maybe a spiritual force, okay, with this High Priestess. Some kind of spiritual force that is holding everything in place. There's some mindsets here that are not correct, meaning each of the people in the triangle see things in their own particular way, and it is not it's not a cohesive kind of thing. So for example, I feel like wanting to work on the relationship without the cheating stopping is ridiculous, right? There's just that ridiculous energy to it. Like, okay, well, that's not really healing anything because it's still going on. It's still going on behind the scenes. So I feel like that person who's doing that behind the scenes is not going to does not want to stop. Okay. And I feel like that's the ongoing pain that is happening. And let's see, let me ask more about the jealousy. I will talk about the end of November here in a minute. I'll talk about the full moon in your sign of Gemini. And then also there is a stellium in Aries and in Sag. Okay. And I'll explain all that. So what is this jealousy? Well, third party for sure. Third party, 2 of Swords, Hermit, refusing to see the solution. Refusing to see the solution. King of Cups. What is a loving solution? I also feel like neither one of you are really, all 3 of you, maybe all 4 of you, no one's really coming clean about their feelings. No one's really talking about their feelings. There's sex and there's pain and there's hurt, but nobody is really coming for, everybody's just kind of protecting themselves or something like that. So why is the 3 of Swords here? Magician, there's Gemini energy there. The Strength card, 3 of Wands. It's going to take some courage to turn your back on this. But I feel like the full moon, there's something about the full moon in your sign that's going to bring that about. Okay, what's the message? The Page of Swords here. Death, Ace of Wands, Justice, and the Page of Pentacles. So the lesson here, Gemini, is the more you, it's a little bit counterintuitive, I'll grant you that. In order to be loving to self, I need to close this container. I need to close this down and really close it down. Like this is like we're broken up or we're breaking up or something like that, so that I can heal myself, and then if you want to make another try of it, another go of it, we can try that. I just think that some kind of chapter needs to be closed, because what's happening is the person who is being cheated on is becoming too controlling because they're in pain. All right, because they're in pain. So I don't know if that's you or your partner, but to end the situation is going to allow a new beginning to happen. And that's like kind of like the last thing you want to hear. I'm just saying, like, Gemini, this might not be about you at all. This might be about another person and their partner having to close the chapter for themselves so that we can. There's just a lot of people here. There's a lot of people here. And I just feel like doing the same thing isn't going to get you what you want. Doing what you've been doing is not going to get you what you want. There needs to be a radically different solution here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on at the end of November. So there are a couple of stelliums happening at the end of November, and a stellium, for those of you who might not remember, is 3 or more planets or points in one particular sign. So there's a stellium in Aries going on, and this is it's the North Node, Chiron in retrograde, and the moon. It's very fleeting. It's happening on the 24th of November. It falls in your 11th house of community. Okay, community, your social circles. You might find your that is the direction to go in, to sort of lean on your friends more, lean on that social community. Aries is about taking action on your own behalf, and I feel like that will be a really positive opportunity for you. There's something about closing out the last 6 months. Whatever got started, whatever seed was planted in May or June, right around your birthday, whatever seed was planted is now coming to fruition, because we do have the full moon in your sign of Gemini coming in a second in the first house. So this is very personal. This is sort of like you having to make some choices for your own health and well-being. It is, the stellium in Aries is in opposition to Libra, right? We have Libra, we have Venus, and we have South Node in Libra, and that's falling in your 5th house. So past life contracts and what you want does matter. It's time to assert what you truly want, instead of maybe behind the back conversations, or having no conversations, or be controlling, or whatever it is. This Libra in 5th house really wants you to understand that this is a past life contract. I saw a very similar thing in Libra. This is a past life contract to be healed, and especially in the 5th house, because this is an inner child sort of shadow. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this triangle or in this situation that is activating your pain from childhood, about something, about not being chosen, about not being the one, about being the one who always has to be the one in charge, or about being, how you're seen by your community, all right, as a certain way, may be hurting you. That you want to be seen as the one in control or the one in charge, when really leaning into your friends is probably the thing that's going to be the most healing thing. And that's kind of part of this, like, you don't have to be the strong one all the time. You can lean into getting help, or you can lean into somebody else. Friends are also a very strong partnership bond. So if this relationship was built on sex and it's coming unglued because of sex, the kind of thing about like burning it down and starting from friendship level might be the place to start. Or what do friends do for each other? Friends are there for each other. Friends can trust each other, and like rebuilding that might be a way to go here. So that's happening. That stellium in Aries in opposition to Libra in that 5th house. So 11th house and 5th house are a lot about creative solutions. They are a lot about our inner child healing, especially as it relates to intimate partnerships with Libra and Aries there. There's another stellium. This is also on November 24th. There's another stellium in Sagittarius in your 7th house of intimate partnerships. Now, Sagittarius is about don't fence me in. So is it possible that any third party could be reflecting back to you a shadow about commitment, whether sort of like, what is, did this start off as a third party and now it's in another third party? Is this whatever it started out as is sort of coming back around, I feel. And the intimate partnerships with the sun, Mars moving into Sagittarius, so there's action here. And your ruler, Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius is in detriment because Mercury is your ruler and Sag is your opposite sign. So it's like your communication is over there in another sign. And you might have trouble expressing this in words, but you might feel this very deeply because of Chiron and retrograde and the moon and all of that, that your friends are going to be super important in healing this, and also being a friend to this partner, that partner being a friend to you. If you're a single person, then you are in a triangle with a married person and they are dealing with their own issues, but it's I think it's kind of activating your own sense of what an intimate partnership is supposed to look like. You could be friends with this person and they are married, but they share a lot of information with you that should be only shared with their spouse. And so there's a kind of like, wow, I thought we were just friends, but this is taking on a whole new thing. So whatever is going on there, no, it has to do with community, it has to do with friendship, and it has to do with how that impacts personal, intimate relationships, a one-to-one, a partnership. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. I know that was a lot. First thing I want to talk about. The second thing I'm going to talk about, the last thing in November that's happening, full moon in your sign of Gemini. So when a full moon exists in our own sign, this is a closing of a cycle, a closing of a chapter, right? And this is about you asserting your will, asserting your own viewpoint of things, your communication around what things look like to you. So what started back in June, we're closing out that cycle. And as I'm going to talk about in the extended with December's astrology, there's definitely a feeling of defending your honor or defending what you believe, your perspective, right? Gemini is about the details. And so you might not be seeing the bigger spiritual picture around this. And that might be what's being asked of you in that full moon, is to release the details of things and look at how I'm being impacted, my inner child work, my, spiritual work, whatever it is, and also these other people. Look at this energetically, okay, from a bigger perspective. How am I able to take wisdom from this situation? How am I able to look at that? I feel like some of you are blocking your heart and don't want to feel this. You don't want to feel this because this may feel really bad to you or may feel difficult to you. But I do think that there is something here about learning something new. And if that's one of the things that's being resisted, like, I don't have to learn anything new. They're the one with the problem, or they're the one that's doing it. Like, that kind of thing is going to get you stuck. You're going to need it to look at yourself because you're attracting this. Look at yourself. Understand that you're more powerful than you think. You've attracted this. You're part of this because of past life karma, because the things you're attracting in this life that will teach lessons and things like that. So you're part of this. And especially because that full moon in Gemini is sitting in your first house. So it's shining a light on what you believe to be your identity. Are you making this triangle your identity? Are you making this relationship your identity? First house is me, myself, and I. Nobody else. Okay, that stellium in Sag is the intimate relationships, but Sagittarius is also about optimism and where are we going with this and what does it look like, and freedom, no commitments. Sagittarius is kind of the sign of don't fence me in. So and this is stuff you got to look at yourself. Am I in a third party relationship because I either am in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to be in a relationship, but for some reason they did? Or am I dealing with someone in another relationship because I am unavailable? I'm truly unavailable. They're unavailable because they're already in a partnership, but you're also unavailable because you're choosing someone who's unavailable. And that is the same energy. Okay? There's a really good book called Mr. Unavailable and the Fallback Girl. I don't even know the person who wrote it, but it's a very good book. If you find yourself in love triangles, if that's the dominant theory here or theme here, then you might want to check that out. In the extended, I'll look at December's astrology. So let's do this Three of Swords is kind of like right now. So Three of Swords in terms of a timing card is like 3 days. So this could be happening like within a weekend or something like that. This seems big picture to me, though. It doesn't feel like there's any action here. The only action is messaging, communication. Gemini, right? In time for Cancer season. Expect movement today. By the end of this month. Okay, so it's possible that something big is going to change next summer, by next summer. The reason this reading is coming out for you today is that there's some change in communication, lying to oneself, lying to another person. There's some real change in communication that needs to happen. Okay. And even by the end of Scorpio, we're almost there. Yeah, it's this weekend over the 3 days. There could be some movement in communication. Expect movement today or this weekend. And then by the end of the month, when we get to that full moon in Gemini, there's going to be big shifts. So let's see where we go with that. There's a link below if you want to continue on with me. I'll go deeper into the reading. And like I said, December astrology. All right, Gemini, that's for you. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.